Hi there, Joke here with a new video. In this one, I'm going to show you some projects that I've created with the days 7 to 12 products from the Advent calendar, Spellbinders, that is. So you see I marked what is or what package or what product came from which day in the Advent calendar. Obviously, today is day 12, so you would have opened your advent calendars if you have it, and so I'm not spoiling anything, hopefully. And before I get there, I'm gonna show you something because you guys always ask about cardstock I'm using. Other than the Spellbinders papers, I'm using these ones. This is a mixture of Basil, and there's a Dutch brand, I think it's called Craft Emotions. I'm going to show you in a bit, but what I wanted to show you that a lot of these don't have any color code or any barcode, so this is why I most often don't link anything, because I just don't know what I'm using. So this one, this batch, this one here is the Dutch brand that I just mentioned, and I noticed oh, and then there's this Tim Holtz. I think these are old cardstocks that they had left over and so because I was afraid that I'm gonna miss out on them, I ordered everything. Not that I needed any cardstock, but I just bought that whole batch. And these are the colors that I chose, the royal blue and this really deep kind of raspberry magenta color inspired me from that whole batch. So I chose the combination around those two colors. And I am going to show you how I messed up the first heart that I put together, and I'm gonna mess up the second one the same way so that they will turn out the same. So I created 2 layers of the big heart, and I'm also adding an extra layer to each shape just to give them a bit more dimension. And then I'm going to layer all these together. And I think, actually, I don't remember what I messed up on the first one, but I think I simply did not center it well. So I didn't like it, and then I just simply used scissors and fussy cut it out. But also I didn't like that color. I think that was the barely peach from Spellbinders, and instead I'm using, this looks white in the video, I know, but it's actually not. It's super I don't know, a really light color. I don't even know. Maybe when I will have it next to the Nina Solar White, you will see the difference. I mean, you can use it as white, but it is not a white color, if that makes sense. I did not order white, that I know, and this was in that batch of cardstock that I ordered. Okay, so one of the windows had this really fun. You see the difference here. It's a little bit. I don't know, not ivory maybe, but it's different. Anyway, so those fun banners I'm gonna use for sentiments, and then I'm doing something I never use or never do, because I don't know, lately I don't like to use inks. There was this layering stencil in one of the windows, so I am now creating well, in both corners, just these little spots. And I showed you just a second ago how they layer normally, but I did not do that. I wanted the last layer to kind of overlap the previous two so that it's not so perfect, if that makes sense. And also I wanted the whole thing to be more to the left side. Um, so I did not want to cover the middle and the right side, if that makes sense. And I'm repeating the same with the blue colors. I'm just trying to figure out how I layered that third one so that it's similar at the bottom as well. And I used Altenew inks for these, and I am going to trim off a little bit well, like just the edges, because of course I messed up. I have some inks because I don't know, I'm just impatient, and then I could have added some washi tape to mask it off, but I'm too lazy to do things like that. So I don't mind actually that I had to cut it off. I like that there's now a little bit of a white edge around it. It gives it another layer and a bit of interest. So I don't mind that that happened. And so I create kind of like two sections, as you can see, reddish pink and blue. And then I'm trying to figure out where I want to place my hearts, but then I just went with the obvious option here. And I'm going to glue these down, and also the banner. And to add a little bit more texture and dimension, I'm adding a few enamel drops, enamel drops, enamel dots, right? Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Enamel dots in similar colors, pinks and reds, and most of these are also Altenew. Some are this simple and basic brand that I have in my shop. And yeah, the amount of enamel dots that I have, I do have enough colors that fit. Blues are difficult though. Especially this royal blue, I think I don't have actually. I do have something that is called royal blue, but you see, I only remembered it now. I don't have it in my stash. I just have it in my shop. I need to fix that problem now that I remember. Then another product that was in the calendar is this really cute little bird. And of course, I had to create a lot of them because they are so cute. And of course, you know me, I just like creating patterns. So I die cut a load of them. And what I did is basically I die cut the parts of the bird from each color cardstock that I chose, and then I mixed and matched them. Now this is this Key Lodge embossing folder from my Winter Tales collection, and I had this paper already embossed, so I thought, why not use it for something? I had it on my table, and then I'm using another one of these banner sentiments. And I don't know if this, I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of how this looked, the birds, but I did it anyway because I did not have another idea how to use all of them. I did not want to create, many different cards. I wanted to use all these birds on one card. So you decide. It's something I like to do. to create patterns in the background. And again, the textured blue background I just used because I had it already. And this little flower also comes with the bird. I die cut those as well, but then I ended up not using those, at least not on this card. And now I'm gluing everything down, and then somehow there were, for my eyes anyway, there were still empty spots because these are quite, it's a small bird, but still there's only so many ways you can turn them. So, it's not like small different shapes that you can turn in a variety of ways and fill out all the empty spots, so to create a seamless kind of pattern. Here you can see that I have a bunch of white space, so I just decided to fill those with enamel dots again. And I kind of like that addition. It's a different kind of texture, some more color, and it's a different shape, so I kind of like how that ended up looking. And again, I'm using the same colors. I'm also trying to use a few of the larger enamel dots because somehow I never use them. I don't even understand. Well, I understand, I guess it's standard in every package. There's always the big ones as well. But those are the ones that I always have left. I really wish there were enamel dot packages that only have the two smaller ones, you know. Although I guess it's nice to have three different sizes. Um, yeah, so that's what I did on this one, and then that's done as well. And then my last card, I am going to use the flowers. There's a floral die set, which is actually, if you have watched the previous video with the advent calendar things, then you might remember that there was a floral stamp set. This is exactly the same, just a die, so this is more my thing, you know. I just like dies more. So first of all, I wanted to create floral clusters on my card and then create a background pattern. But for some reason, as I started putting them down, this kind of heart shape came out. And then I thought, okay, why not do this? So I am trying to, you know, just create kind of like a heart shape. But you know what? This happens all the time. I don't know about you. But as I'm starting to stick things down, somehow the shape always gets messed up. I don't know how. And I got so upset at the end. I know it's a card. Not seriously upset, but it just bugged my eyes. I glued down that particular small pink, dark pink one. I glued it down in the wrong spot. And it just bugged me so much, but I couldn't pull it off because, or pull it, you know, up because the paper was already pink there, and I couldn't have, you know, I just needed it to be white. Yeah, I couldn't fix that one. So then I started to add more things just to try to fix that problem. But it's, yeah, it's not perfect. But anyway, that was the idea, that it's like kind of like a heart shape. And I'm also adding some of those flowers that came with the birds. This one is, for example, that one. Because I already die cut them, so I didn't want to waste them. And then I'm adding some foam tape here and there, mostly for with the smaller flowers, two different ones, I think. And then the other ones I'm just tucking under the largest flower. No rhyme or reason. I'm just trying to mix and match the shapes and the colors so that it's a good, you know, variety, or not very. It's not symmetrical, or not, you know, it's not always the same color everywhere, but you have a good, yeah, variety. Again, I don't know. I make no sense. And then what happened today? I'm so stupid. We just got home from visiting family in Holland, and then what I made sure that I told my kid that, you know, he always forgets something. And I told him off again because he forgot his pillows, but of course we were still there, so we could pick it up. And then what happens? We get home, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember packing my headphones and my iPad. I seriously had no memory of packing them, and I didn't. So they are in Holland, so now I'm using my kids' iPad, and I'm hoping that it actually works because it's a bit different than mine. Um, but I hope it's gonna work. And now I have to pay for shipping my stuff to me, and I might have to go to the hospital without headphones, so it's gonna be really boring not being able to watch anything, or anyway, it's my own stupidity, but it was funny, because I told my kid off for forgetting something again, and then what do? Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I'm not doing anything special here, just what I said. I'm building this heart, and there were some flowers that I kind of cut apart just to use some of the little um, leaves, or the flower part where I had to fill some space out. And then I'm also trying to add some enamel dots, because why not? If I have so many, why not? And I don't really like white backgrounds that much, so I like to cover as much of it as possible. Even though this, I don't know if you see the texture of the cardstock, but I think it's so beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with it. I think this is my favorite texture at the moment. So this is the Craft, I think it's called Craft Emotions, this Dutch brand. Um, and it is a bit thinner than most of the Bazzill cardstock. Some of the Bazzill is also thinner, but most of the ones that I'm using is thicker. But I always layer 2 die cuts anyway, so it's okay. But it's not thin, definitely not thin, but thinner. Okay, so I'm filling some of the white space in between those flowers, and sometimes I'm also adding some on the top. Yeah, just blues and pinks and those sort of colors, and then I'm pressing them into place so that they stay put for long, or for good, hopefully. And then here you have the card, and then the one product. Oh yeah, so that's the flower that bugs me. So the one product that I did not use from the 6 days is the sequins. For first of all, I forgot. I entirely forgot, but also I don't really like using sequins because I don't have glue that will hold them in place for good. So yeah, I guess that's why I forgot. Also, I wanted to thank you for your sweet messages. I do read them. I will answer them as well. It will just take some time. Thank you very much. And I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas in case I can't post any more videos this year. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next year. Bye bye.